Good day and welcome to your favorite sport program on TV, Plot Sport. I'm Mudashiru Shitu, and today will be exceptional because we'll be looking at interesting topic which is has to do with government and sport development. We know we've been having change of government soon, and we'll be hoping that the change of government in all areas of administration in the country will bring about change of sport development. That's why there's no other person to have talking this with me than Joachim Idada. Good to have you on the show. Good morning, sir. Yeah. In these topics like this, we have to look for someone experienced in all area of sport development to talk about this. You hold many positions when it comes to sport development in the country, and now by May 29, we'll be having the change of government, and there's a lot has to do with sport, because sport is a unifier for everybody in this country. Tell us what you think involvement of government in sport development.
First of all, there are certain facts that we should come to understand and agree, and those facts are clear. One, sports is business. Sports has gone beyond the days of when it's just for recreational purpose. So sports offers great opportunity. Sports is youth, because most of the time it is the youth that really benefits from sports, not those of us with gray hair like this. It's the youth that really benefit from sport, especially in a time like this when we are having this youthful, would I call it a youth activism that is going on. And they are saying the government is not doing a lot of things for them. So sports is one platform that the government can use to really empower the youth. The next thing we have to understand that sports is wide. And there are lots of elements that needs to be put in place for us to be able to harness the benefits that you find herein in sports. And some of those things is what I think we'll try to look at today. Secondly, we should also understand that there's a difference between game and sport. Many times, we in Nigeria tend to classify games as sports, which is wrong. If we must harness sport, we should be able to separate the game from the sport. And that is why sometimes I did a seminar about darts. That is I think it was in 2017, where we said transiting darts from game to sports. So there are two different things, and I think we should look at that today.
And when you talk about game and sport, I think there should be more enlightenment on it. So you mean game if people plays without the standard rules, and what's the real difference between game and sport in the real sense of it?
Yes, a game is any activities that offer fun and relaxation. That is what a game is. So if I throw balloon up, children throwing balloons up, they're playing a game. Can you classify that as a sport? No. If you are at the back of your compound and some children are kicking the ball around, can you classify that as a sport? No. So we should understand that there's a difference between sport and game. For any game to transit from being just an activity for relaxation and entertainment to becoming a sport, there are certain things, or what I call it, attributes, that the next government needs to work on. They need to work on it. And if they don't work on it, then we cannot harness the benefits found herein.
Okay, now let's go to government, because by May 29, in what area or percentage do you think government should be really involved in sport? That's just to tell you that some countries like the US, a lot of people say government has answered sport entirely, that is in the area of private sector. Some said private sector cannot do it alone, it has to be government and the private sector. Some said it just have to be purely government. But in our own country here, everything that has to do with competitions has to be handled by the federal government, federal youth of sport. Kids are going for cycling, A-list athletes are going for athletics. It has to be government involvement. That should be done. What advice will you give for incoming administrators?
No, that is not how it's supposed to be done. Let's break it down. Now, there are two elements that we'll try to separate. One, we say sports is youth. One of the issues that bothers me is how does the Ministry of Sports get responsible for school sports development? And collegiate sports, or what we call school sports, is the foundation. Is the foundation for, I won't classify for sports. It's not the foundation for sports. It's actually the foundation for games. Because from games, you enter sports. So why will the school sports that we have today, why will it be in the Ministry of Sports when schools, the Ministry of Sports don't run schools?
So what step are you telling administrators to take to enable?
The first thing we need to do is that we need to rejig the whole sporting architecture in Nigeria. We have to rejig it. And we have to rejig it legislatively. That's what I'm saying, legislatively. It is not one government comes, or not, he does it this way, another government comes, he turns it this way, another government comes, he turns it this way. No. The legislature, that's the National Assembly, and the various state assembly must promulgate the right laws to govern sports, such that every stakeholder will know his responsibility. Let us look at a classical example. The provision of infrastructure, sporting infrastructure. Whose responsibility is it to provide sporting infrastructure in Nigeria? Is it the responsibility of the federal government? Is it the responsibility of the state government? Is it the responsibility of the local government? Look at where this TV station is. It is in Etiosa local government. From, I don't know where Etiosa, from Ikoyi, or let us look at it from Victoria Island, all the way to Ekpe, or all the way to Ibeji, this is where that covered Etiosa. I asked a question: how many sporting venues do you have? How many? So how then do we talk about sports if we do not provide the venues or the amenities that is required for you to get involved in sports, even in the first place? Most of the recreational centers that we have today in the island are, I won't call them, maybe they are like their clubs, and it costs quite a lot of money for you to be able to go and join some of these clubs. How then do you talk about sports development if I will need to pay so much money just for me to get involved in the sport of my choice? So the first question we need to handle this issue legislatively. Okay,
now let's go to, we all know that this is what we have in this part of our world. That's talking about the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport, the zonal coordinators, the state associations, the president of the federation. That hierarchy, is that the normal way? Because that's all we know in this part of our world. The sport ministry, the president of various sport activities, we have the state coordinators and all that. Is that the normal way it should be?
As a sport entrepreneur, I'm more interested in how we use sports to empower the children, to empower the youths. The current structure does not work, whether we like it or not. The current structure is not working. How do we use sports as a vehicle of empowerment for the Nigerian children? Let me give you a classical example. In 2021, I started a program called the Inter-Schools Chess League. I play chess. One of the benefits of that is there's this notion we all have is that, if you play chess, you are very smart, which is, first of all, is wrong. Just let me tell you that.
I'm hearing that for the first
time. No, that's not true.
Probably subsequent edition, I'll be bringing the president of Chess Federation.
That word. That's not true. Okay, that's not why we are here. Okay. So we started in 2001, sometime around 2001, I started the Inter-Schools Chess League. The objective of starting a program like that is, one, I was more concerned about what I was observing, that our children were not thinking, that the quality of thoughts was really deficient.
Okay.
So one issue that came to my mind is, what vehicle, what instrument can I use to help these children improve the way they reason?
Okay.
And obviously, because I play chess, I said chess was the best. So we started the Inter-Schools Chess program. At the end of 2 years,
Okay.
we had 48 schools scattered all over the Southwest playing chess. Let me tell you, many of those children that I raised then, some are in America today, some are doctors, some are chess teachers,
Okay.
some are running schools, chess in schools programs right now. And that is a classical example how you use sports to empower. Normally, chess is a game.
But are you putting that area of competition out of sport? Because obviously there will be competitions.
That is a different level. That is at a different level.
Okay.
So we have to tackle it systematically. We have to remove it. We have to tackle it systematically. If you don't tackle it systematically and you just put everything into the bucket at the same time, it doesn't work. Look at a classical example. Gymnastics. Gymnastics is a sport. Have we been able to harness the benefit of gymnastics? There is Edo State. Edo State. There is something we call Igbabonemi. They are masquerades.
Okay.
Everything Igbabonemi does is gymnastics. From beginning to end. And we have these masquerades in Edo State, somersaulting, jumping around, and doing all of those things. Meanwhile, those skills are the foundational skills you need when you are doing gymnastics.
To be a gymnast.
To be a gymnast. If we can tap on that loop, because already Igbabonemi thinks it's just doing a game, just entertaining. But we can tap into it, restructure that particular activity that is seen like a game for entertainment.
So with what you've said so far, our governments presently and the past, we hope the incoming administrators will have a change. There have not been developmental sports in this part of our world. Or is there an example you can really, apart from private sectors getting involved, is that been something you can target, a developmental process that the government itself have got involved in?
In those days, we had youth fund. But youth fund was under the Ministry of Sports. That's where the problem starts. What we should have is that collegiate sports must be in the Ministry of Education. The height of collegiate sports is either Nipoga or Nuga. The height of collegiate sports must be either Nipoga or Nuga. It's the same thing like in America, where the NCAA is the organization that organizes all college sports that you have in the United States, right from primary school all the way to what? To college. So what we should have in Nigeria is Nuga should be empowered. Nuga, Nipoga should be empowered.
Let me take that. Sorry for that. We call ourselves a sport-loving nation.
Yes.
But we strive to get private sectors involved in government, in sport. And we wonder why those private brands or big brands are not staying in Nigeria, or they're not. Why is it difficult that we call ourselves a sporting nation, but you can't get a private sector to invest in sport? Now it has to take the federal government to lure them, let me use that word, to be part of sport. Why is it difficult?
Sport has certain marketing value. Very, very, very extensive marketing value. It offers such huge values to brands that very, 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 very few products can offer. So let us look at it this way. The brands follow the eyeballs.
Okay.
That's what the brands follow. The brands follow the eyeballs. And because the brands follow the eyeballs, somehow, let me give you a classical example. If you have a sporting activity and all you have, like what we are seeing on the screen right now, we have some athletes running around and you have nobody watching. What is the benefit this will offer? Example, a brand who wants to come and get involved. The brand wants to advertise. They want to reach their market. So if I have an event, and the event, I have 1,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 spectators in that venue. There is no begging of the brands, because everywhere in the world, the brands follow what? The brands follow the eyeballs. The brands follow the crowd. Sports brings in the crowd. So the first question for a sports promoter or a sports organizer or for government is, how do we bring in the crowd into sporting venues and sporting arenas?
Every 4 years, there's a question that we sport broadcaster, reporter always talk about. And when it comes to the appointment, or rather appointing the sport minister, I know some years ago I was on the street asking people that should the coming sport minister be a technocrat, or should the person, because most times always appointee. So who do you think will be in a better position to fill that position? Some say that the technocrats are the better person to fill that position. Some say anybody can do the job, just have the goodwill in mind. What's your position? We know that the present Minister of Youth and Sport, Sunday Dare, is an appointee, was appointed by the ruling party. We also know the past, Solomon Dalong was also appointed by the ruling party. It's a long time we've seen, if you can mention up to two, that have been appointed as the Minister of Sport outside the ruling party. What's your take on that?
I'll answer that question this way. When they were to have the World Cup in South Africa, the chairman of the LOC was a banker.
This chairman of LOC?
Yes, in South Africa. The South African World Cup.
Okay, is it the Nigerian or the LOC in South Africa?
In South Africa. That, okay. For the World Cup, that
for the World Cup, is a banker.
Was a banker. The important thing we are interested in is what? Is a man who can think outside the box. You don't need to be a technocrat. You don't need... Look, sports all over the world is a business. It's a big business. It's $1 billion business.
So anybody can feel that.
It's $1 trillion business. Any minister that comes in that cannot harness that potential, as far as I'm concerned, has failed.
Regardless to whether
you are a technocrat, whether you are anything, any minister that cannot. What's the name? The South African World Cup. They didn't have a deficit. They made profit. So the whole thing about sports, you understand?
It's a balance sheet.
Yes, it's the balance sheet. That's the point. Even in America, it is the balance sheet. The NCAA is a profitable business.
NCAA with the scholarship.
Yes, NCAA, the collegiate sports body in America is a business. They make trillions of dollars. Look, they make close annually. They make up to $996 million in turnover. Our NUGA, that is the equivalent of the NCAA. Go and check what, even till today, before I came to the program, I was trying to read what was the turnover of the last NUGA. Games. No records about it. No records. So the first question we should understand.
Is it government owned or it's a private owned? How do they run that?
It's private. I would call it private. It's owned by the universities. It's private. Let me use that word. It's run like a private business. They generate money, and they give this money. Part of this money is even invested in the college system. Lots of money. So now let us ask ourselves that question: our NUGA, our NIPOGA, how much do they make annually? So it's not about having technocrats or not having technocrats. It's about understanding that today, global best practice, sports is business. It has gone out of the realm of when it was just a recreational activity. Sports is now business. They have harnessed the economic potential, the economic and financial potential of sports for the betterment of their countries. In Nigeria, do you know how much we spend on the EPL? EPL. Do you know how much Nigerians spend on betting? And most of the betting companies in Nigeria only offer foreign products on their betting platforms. Meanwhile, we have the Nigerian betting games, the Nigerian Games and something commission, lottery and games commission. Yeah. They are there sitting on their bum, and at the end of the day, they are allowing betting companies to offer foreign content, majorly foreign content, to the Nigerians that are here. In the name of God, where is it done? Who does that?
Okay, I'm sure.
Before I land, okay. Meanwhile, remember that we have what we call the local content principle or policy in Nigeria.
Okay.
Today, it only operates in the oil industry.
Okay.
Why can't the Lottery and Games Commission put in place a policy that will tell the betting companies that, look, you cannot offer more than 20% of your content, only 20% of your content will be foreign.
If I may call you, Joachim,
it makes no sense.
With so much respect, that please, it's obvious that time is no longer by our side. We started with the time by our side, but it's obvious that it has gone ahead of us, and we need to add up to this show. But this is an extensive topic. So next time we'll probably call you towards the new government changing over or anything relating to the. Thanks for your time and for.
Before I go, if they want us to do anything, let the new government appoint me as Minister of Sports, and let us see the difference. Okay.
Thank you very much, Joachim, Idada, for being on the show, for giving us all your experience when it comes to analyzing sport entrepreneurship and sport development in the country. I still remain Mudashiru Shitu. Thanks for watching. Same time tomorrow, we'll be giving you all what you need to know in the world of sport. Thanks for now.